On the afternoon of June 25th, 2015, a small child's body washed ashore on Deer Island, Massachusetts. She had no name, no family came forward, and for months she was known only as Baby Doe. Her digitally reconstructed image spread across the internet, shared millions of times. Who was she? Where had she come from? And how could a child simply vanish without anyone noticing? When her identity was finally uncovered, the truth was more heartbreaking than anyone could have imagined. This is the story of Bella Bond, a 2-year-old girl whose short life exposed the failures of a system meant to protect her. A story of innocence lost and justice fought for too late. Bella Nevaeh Amoroso Bond was born on August 6, 2012, in Dorchester, Massachusetts. She was a bright, curious child with big brown eyes and a smile that lit up every room. She loved listening to music, anything Hello Kitty, and she enjoyed making pizza. Bella's mother, Rochelle Bond, struggled with drug addiction and mental illness. Her father, Joseph Amoroso, was largely absent. He saw Bella only once before she died. Rochelle's life had been marked by instability. She'd lost custody of 2 other children before Bella was born, yet somehow, Bella remained in her care. Not only did Rochelle have a history of drug use, but she also had been in trouble with the law in the past in relation to selling her body. Neighbors at their Dorchester apartment remember seeing Bella play outside, calling her a happy and affectionate little girl. But behind the smiles, there was turmoil. Poverty, drug use, and chaos were constants in her young life. Despite repeated involvement from social services, no intervention came soon enough. Bella's future was already on fragile ground. By 2015, Rochelle had a new boyfriend, Michael McCarthy. Friends said he was unpredictable, violent, and heavily addicted to heroin. Rochelle became distant. Neighbors noticed she stopped bringing Bella outside. Some described hearing shouting through the walls, but no one knew what was happening behind closed doors. A friend of the couple's would later come forward and say that he'd witnessed Rochelle and Michael lock Bella in the closet for an extended period of time. According to testimony later revealed in court, Michael had become obsessed with dark, supernatural ideas. He told Rochelle that Bella was possessed by demons and became prone to having bizarre outbursts. One night, in a fit of rage, Michael struck Bella, a blow so forceful it ended her life. Rochelle did not call for help. Instead, she and Michael hid Bella's body, first in a refrigerator, then sealed in a plastic trash bag. Days later, they drove to the harbor and disposed of her remains in the water. And for weeks, life continued as though nothing had happened. No one reported Bella missing. No one even asked where she was. On June 25th, 2015, a woman walking her dog on Deer Island stumbled upon a plastic bag that had washed ashore. She cautiously approached it and found something horrifying. Inside was the bloated, decomposed remains of a little girl, dressed in black and white polka-dotted pants and wrapped up in a zebra print blanket. An autopsy was done on the child's body, but her cause of death was unable to be determined. They were also unable to identify who this little girl was. Investigators released a computer-generated image of her face, chubby cheeks, bright brown eyes, short brown hair, and within hours it spread like wildfire online. Millions shared her photo. People called her Baby Doe. Yet no one came forward to identify who this child really was. Who was this child? How could no one recognize her? The mystery gripped the nation. In every corner of the internet, people tried to identify her, a collective effort to give this little girl a name. The search for Baby Doe's identity became one of the largest investigations in Massachusetts history. Police compared DNA samples from hundreds of missing children. They worked with the FBI, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and combed through every database imaginable. But for months, nothing. Then, in September 2015, a crucial tip came in. A friend of Rochelle Bond contacted police, saying she hadn't seen Bella in months, and Rochelle had confessed to him that her boyfriend had killed Bella and she had helped him dispose of her remains. Detectives quickly questioned Rochelle, and the truth finally came out. Baby Doe wasn't an orphan. She wasn't missing. She was Bella Bond, a child whose death had been hidden by her own mother. Police arrested both Rochelle Bond and Michael McCarthy. The mystery that had captured the world's attention was solved, but the horror behind it was just beginning to surface. Michael McCarthy was charged with first-degree murder. Prosecutors argued that he was a manipulative, dangerous man who controlled Rochelle through drugs and fear. Rochelle testified against him, describing the night Bella was killed. She said that one night in late May of 2015, around 11:30 p.m., Bella had started becoming unruly and refused to go to bed. So Michael decided to take the matter into his own hands, and he told Rochelle not to worry about it. At that point, the mother left the room and she soon heard Bella screaming for Michael to stop. When Rochelle finally went back in to check on her daughter, she found Michael standing over Bella. He'd punched her in the stomach and head multiple times. Rochelle claimed she knew her daughter was dead and began to get upset. Michael, on the other hand, didn't care and said, "She was a demon anyway. It was her time to die." Rochelle also insisted that Michael had threatened her life if she told anyone what had happened. He then proceeded to sedate her with heroin for the next 7 days. In the meantime, Bella was kept in the apartment's refrigerator. Eventually, Rochelle and Michael put Bella's tiny body into a green duffel bag and drove her to Boston Harbor, where they disposed of her.
He just said he would kill me.
Did you believe them?
Yes.
Why?
He killed my daughter.
Months would go by. Bond says she kept quiet for fear she would be blamed. It was too late for help, she says.
Why is it too late to call for help?
I don't know, I just felt like I would be at fault.
You would be at fault?
Yes.
Why did you think that you would be at fault?
He drilled it into me.
Who drilled it into you?
That you constantly say, no one's going to believe you.
McCarthy's defense claimed that Rochelle was lying, that she herself was the only one who was responsible for her daughter's death, and she was only blaming him to save her own freedom. The trial lasted for weeks. In June 2017, Michael McCarthy was found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison, with a chance of parole after 20 years. Rochelle Bond pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the fact. She was sentenced to time served, about 2 years in jail, and was released shortly after the trial. To many, that outcome felt incomplete. Justice had been done in court, but it couldn't undo the loss of a child. Bella's story sparked an outpouring of grief across the country. The Baby Doe campaign became one of the most widely shared social media efforts in history. Millions mourned a little girl they never met. When Bella's name was revealed, vigils were held across Massachusetts. At Deer Island, the place where she was found, people left flowers, teddy bears, and letters. One note read, "You were loved even if you never knew it." Media outlets followed every development. Journalists highlighted the gaps in social services that had failed to protect Bella. And child welfare advocates demanded reform, calling her story a wake-up call for the entire system. Bella's death prompted widespread change within Massachusetts Department of Children and Families. Officials admitted that critical warning signs had been missed and vowed to do better. New oversight policies, improved reporting systems, and stronger accountability measures were put in place. Advocacy groups launched new campaigns to raise awareness about child neglect and abuse. And across the nation, Bella's name became synonymous with the urgent need for vigilance and compassion. Her life, though short, inspired real change. Bella Bond's story is not just about tragedy. It's about the importance of protecting those who cannot protect themselves. She was known to the world as Baby Doe, a nameless symbol of loss. But in truth, she was Bella, which means beautiful. And that's exactly what she was. Beautiful, innocent, and deserving of a future she never got to live. As we remember her, may we also remember the countless other children who suffer in silence and resolve to be their voice. Because every child deserves to be seen. Every child deserves to be safe, and every child deserves love. If Bella's story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to help spread awareness of child protection and welfare issues. If you suspect a child is being abused or neglected, please reach out. You can call the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-4-A-CHILD, that's 1-800-4-A-CHILD, 1-800-422-4453, or visit childhelp.org. Together, we can help prevent tragedies like this from ever happening again.